Welcome back. It's still the conversation, and before we went on that short break, our scholar here, Abdul Semiu Kilani, was talking about charity beyond Ramadan. So we'll continue from there. And of course, I'd like to welcome our second guest, Nuruddin Ibrahim. He's the Executive Director, Ifan Center for Research and Human Development in Nigeria. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
So let's continue with the conversation.
The commonality of
Yes.
giving out, like I said, and I will still maintain that there should be mutual response or mutual responses from both Christian and Muslim to salvage the cause of commonality in our society. I used to say this, that when it rains, it doesn't only rain for the Muslim or the Christian all alone. It rains for everybody, even an atheist who happens to be, who thinks he himself or herself is a free thinker. So everybody enjoy the mercy of God and its benevolence cut across all the human race, wherever they are. And I think that should be replicated to see ourselves, firstly, as humanity, as human beings. And that is the first response in, we call something Maqasidu Sharia, which are the objective and intent of Islamic law. You don't say that this person is not a Muslim, then you will not do good to him. Our Prophet didn't tell us that. He didn't teach us that. When he was in Medina, that was the first state ever created. There was a constitution that unites all the fragments of society together. The Jews were there, the Christians were there, the Muslims were there. They cohabit mutually, and they made a common front, even though there could be some glitches of misunderstanding, but they still manage themselves. Peculiarity of their legislation depend on their book. You know, the Christians have the Injil, which is the Bible. The Jews, they have their Torah, and the Muslims have the Quran. So they legislate and dispense justice upon based on their what? Their book of Revelation.
All right, I'll still take you up on giving. You know, Ramadan is the season where you have to give, but beyond Ramadan now, how can people give not only monetary or even food? Because he has taught us that it is like this, 10 per head, right? So I have learnt that one now. But beyond giving out money and food, what are the other ways that you can give out on the charitable?
Oh, thank you for that question. We need to understand that according to our Holy Prophet Muhammad, he said that the upper hand that gives is better than the lower hand that receives. And that is because he encourages more to be the giver, not to be the receiver. So the more you give, the more you exemplify the model of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And also in his saying, he said that the best of you are those who are best to other people. So aside from giving money, giving food, there are so many other things that you can also give, whatever humans need. So these are the things that you can give. For example, we've not talked about clothing, we've not talked about shelter. So there are people that need shelter. So for these kind of people, as Muslims, we are supposed to support them to get the shelter. If it is for you to provide the house, fine. If it is for you to finance the accommodation, it is also fine. Clothing as well. And there are people in the hospitals that cannot fund their bills. So as Muslims, we are also encouraged to visit the hospitals and also help those people there. And from the Islamic teachings, when you get to the hospital, you don't ask about their faith.
Exactly.
So don't ask that you want to support the Muslims or you want to, they are patients, they are sick people. So whatever you can give to assist them, you need to do that. And you know now, there is also the necessity of blood drive. If you look at so many Muslims now, they are coming together to form a group or a society that will champion blood drive. So encouraging people to donate blood. And when you donate blood, you don't even know who can need it.
So it can life.
Yes. So these are things that we are encouraged to give. And so many other things, scholarship and so on.
As an education.
Okay, I said we're going to talk extensively about one very important, aspect of Ramadan and of course Eid. We all know that the sighting of the moon is very, very important. It heralds Ramadan. It also brings an end to the Ramadan fast itself. I'd like you, Nuruddin Ibrahim, to explain to us what exactly is this moon sighting.
Thank you so much. Maybe you are directing the question to me because I'm the secretary for the National Moon Sighting Committee in Nigeria.
For the whole country.
Yes.
So
you're the secretary
yes,
of the
National
Moon
Sighting Committee. Yes, in Nigeria.
Because in Nigeria there is a body that is coordinating sighting of the crescent, and that body is National Moon Sighting Committee. So the crescent is so much important for us as Muslims, because when we say moon sighting, it involves all the necessary techniques required in the sighting of a new crescent. I'm emphasizing new crescent because there is difference between new crescent and new moon.
Okay.
Yeah, new crescent and new moon.
Okay.
They look alike, but they are not the same. And that is where the controversy comes from. So some people, they based their celebration, their starting of Ramadan upon the new moon, while some people base theirs upon the new crescent. So if you are talking about new moon precedes new crescent. So there will be difference of 1 day.
So what is it? What do you look out for before we start the fast? Is it the new moon or the new crescent?
Ideally, it should be the new crescent.
It should be the new crescent.
Yes, because
the
Holy Prophet Muhammad said that start fasting when the new crescent appears, not when the new moon appears. And stop fasting when the new crescent appears, not when the new moon appears.
I thought crescent was just a bit, but part of the moon.
But these are terms that are technical.
Technical, okay.
When we say new moon, a new moon is an invisible moon. It doesn't appear.
It's invisible.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
So the next stage after, because the Quran talks more about what we call astronomy and astrophysics. So in the astronomical aspect of the Quran, it explains what a moon is and what are the mechanism behind the phases of the moon. So highlighting the 8 phases in summary. Okay. So the Quran talks about the new crescent, and there are 8 phases. The first one is the new moon phase, and after the new moon phase, we have the new crescent. So we watch out for the new crescent and not the new moon. Unfortunately, people that base their celebration upon the new moon, they tend to start Ramadan earlier and celebrate earlier. For example, the Saudi Arabia, they base theirs upon the new moon, not upon the new crescent. And the same thing happens, because when they say that whenever it is announced that Saudi Arabia is celebrating tomorrow, the leadership in Nigeria becomes confused. So who should they follow? Should they follow what the National Moon Sighting Committee is recommending for them, or they should follow Saudi Arabia?
So why do we have these disparities?
Yes, I've explained it, that it is because of the new moon, new crescent. And talking about calendar, there are 3 types of calendars that we have that are important. There is one that is known as the Chinese calendar system. The Chinese calendar system, Chinese lunar calendar system, the first day of the new month in a Chinese calendar system is the day of the new moon, which we technically call the day of conjunction. So that day that we are having new moon is the first day. That is the Chinese lunar calendar system. And there is the Jewish lunar calendar system. The Jewish lunar calendar system is the day after the new moon has occurred. For example, new moon is Friday, then Saturday will be the first day. So the extension of the Jewish calendar system is what materialized in what they call Qura calendar system today, used in Saudi Arabia. So it is based on the new moon and not the new crescent.
Okay, it is believed that in Nigeria, or especially down here in the south, west, that the new crescent or the new moon cannot be sighted. It can only be sighted up north.
That is a fallacy and a way of enslaving people so that you depend on a particular group of people. Yes. It is a fallacy and a way of enslaving people so that you can only depend on them. So there is nothing true about that. Because what you need to know is that there are so many factors associated with the appearance of the new moon. In fact, of the new crescent. In fact, there is something we call visibility map. In a visibility map of a new crescent, you are going to see the pathways where the new crescent will pass through to appear. Sometimes it doesn't get to the north. It remains in the south here. And when that is going to happen, it means that the chances of, in fact, it means that we in the south are supposed to see the new crescent and not those in the north. So that happens. It is a technical term. But saying that it is only in the north that they can sight the crescent, it is a fallacy. The only issue we can have is that people that are near the ocean, for example, Lagos here, our weather is usually cloudy because the humidity is high. Because the relationship between humidity and visibility of a crescent is inverse relationship. The higher the humidity, the lower the chances of visibility. And the lower the humidity, the higher the chances of visibility. That is what is happening in the north. And when you leave Lagos, we have Ibadan. We have Oyo State, where humidity is low. We have Ogun State also, where humidity is low. We have Osun State, humidity is low. Ondo, Ekiti, all those places, humidity is very low. So saying that it is only in the north you can sight the crescent is a fallacy.
Okay, Abdul Samiu, before we started this segment, we're talking about, you said that it's true that today some people are praying, they're observing Eid today, and I can also see you agreeing with Nuruddin. I'd like you to also share some knowledge about this moon sighting, according to your own understanding.
Well, like I said, personally, when I came in, my impression of even as at yesterday, 2 days before, I mean, the last Tarawih we had, the last one, that was the one before yesterday.
Yes, sir.
That was Tarawih yesterday. Okay. For those that celebrate today.
Oh, Saturday.
So we were arguing because there were confusing announcements, conflicting themselves. The Sultan said they did not sighted the moon. Later it came, about 2 hours later, that they sighted the moon. And the impression of calculation, scientific one, just like my brother said, aside from being in that position, it's a very bad position, being the secretary of National Moon Sighting Committee, of which those of us in the stakeholder in the industry, we know him to be a very versatile scholar. Okay. The scientific and the proven one is that today should be the 8th. But when you have a congregation, a community of people saying that, Imam, you have to pray for us. So tomorrow, yesterday will be the Eid. You tend to be a loner, very odd. You understand? So what do you do? Well, I have the conviction that I want to pray today, which I eventually wanted to do. But my congregation is saying, no, you have to pray yesterday. This is the dilemma that is happening, even to some imams. They have that dilemma because their congregation, it's not that they are instructing them, but they are telling them that Saudi, just like what Brother Nuruddin said now, and all those things. So I think I want to charge Brother Nuruddin for that, so you can be our what do I call it?
Authority. Authority.
Our authority. He's an authority already. Because I know the Sultan is not a professional in this regard. He has somebody like Professor Sambo Wali and others, and some people like you. You give him professional advice. But there's this politicization on the moon sighting. They tend to support moon sighting than moon crescent.
Yes, sir.
Moon crescent is the most valid one, and it's more authentic. And this has been happening. It has been a recurring in our celebration of Eid al-Fitri especially. We don't have issue with Eid al-Adha. That one is straightforward. So I think you need to talk to your members as well.
Our members at National Moon Sighting Committee, they are very professional people.
Really? Yes, we know.
The chairman is a professor of engineering, Professor Usman Nafati.
Nafati, okay.
Very versatile in Arabic, in sciences, in engineering. And we have so many of them like that are very professional.
Okay.
But the National Moon Sighting Committee is not empowered to make any public announcements. So whatever you do...
You only work behind the studio,
yes,
the camera.
Yes, whatever you do, you have to submit your reports to the Sultan through the NSCIA.
Okay.
So, and either for adoption or rejection. So that is what usually happens. And because we in the South here, we are more enlightened, more educated.
Okay.
So we tend to have better understanding than some people in the North that are the mouthpiece. Because imagine a situation when somebody sees an aeroplane very far away that is moving and is going to call the authority that he has sighted the moon, and they are going to announce based on that. So it is as worse as that. So these are the things that we are facing. I remember there was a day we finished a meeting at Abuja. So we wanted, there was a telescope that was sent to us, and we wanted to test that telescope. So during the process of assembling the telescope, it was time for Maghrib. And the professor, the chairman, came to me, Professor Osman. So he said, I should look far away. Can I see anything? Yes, I said, far away there is a street light, very far away. And he laughed and said, this is what our people will see. And they will say they've sighted the moon, and it will be announced.
Subhanallah.
Okay, I understand all you have said. But what happens to this injunction with this popular saying that, look, once, you know, this moon has been announced to be sighted, everybody should stop fasting and then go for Eid the following day? Because I'm asking because of some of those who prayed today, like you, who did their Eid today. So is there not like a you contravening the order from Saudi Arabia?
Maybe we should learn from our sheikh. But I think my own answer will be very blunt.
I will be blunt too, like I said. Personally, I wanted to pray today.
Because I must tell you,
but you said 29 or 30 days.
My sister,
yes, it's true. That one is true.
My sister who got into Morocco yesterday, and they're just about an hour behind. Behind us.
Yes. Morocco.
They were still fasting as of yesterday.
I fasted yesterday. Many of us fasted yesterday.
But they said once they've announced Eid, even if you do not pray, you should stop fasting.
I'm sorry, what you just said is very
it's
annoying.
Another fallacy.
It's very annoying because there is nothing like that. There is no
okay, these are things we hear. We hear them.
Yes. So
misconceptions.
And people say things to deceive people.
Really?
So there is nothing like that. So there is nothing like that. From the prophet, there is nothing like that. From the companions, there is nothing like that. So what we have that is similar to what you've said is that if it has been confirmed that the moon has been truly sighted somewhere.
It was confirmed by
No, that was not confirmation. Saudi announced that yesterday will be Eid.
And Sultan, you know, Sultan of Sokoto also
concur.
Yes, concurred. Is that not a confirmation? Is that not enough confirmation?
Sultan cannot confirm what happened in Saudi Arabia because Saudi announced. So they themselves cannot come out and tell us that they actually saw the moon. They only announced that they were going to celebrate Eid yesterday. The moon was not visible.
So they didn't announce that they sighted the moon?
No, they announced that they will celebrate Eid.
They will celebrate Eid. So there are two things.
So and the one in the north, the one announced by the Sultan, that one is glaring that there is nothing like that. So as far as the National Moon Sighting Committee is concerned, the whole report submitted to the Sultan said that there was no sighting anywhere.
Okay, so what is the solution to all this disparity? If there is.
Because we thought, I was thinking your committee is strong enough.
Yeah,
it's strong enough to an extent.
Yes, but
in declaration,
the way they
it's a toothless dog.
in
so
fact,
to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, because that's the fact.
So how do we overcome all this disparity?
So if
some praying today, some praying yesterday, for Eid.
Brian Nurdin, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that most of the Arab in the Khalij, in the Gulf,
Yes, sir.
I think about 16 or 19 of them, only about 3 prayed yesterday. The
And
majority
those are
today.
the ones that depended on Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
You
So
can
they
see.
depended on the announcement of Saudi Arabia.
And I keep asking, is there a solution?
There is solution.
There is
solution, but we are going to start with a regional solution.
Regional, from the regional basis, and
we
spread.
cannot do a global solution at once.
Okay.
Regional solution first, and the
Okay.
regional solution in Nigeria is very simple, but are they willing to allow it to come to pass?
Okay.
Because the announcements, you see, the Holy Prophet Muhammad said that one of the problems you are going to be having is when you allow people that are not capable, that are not knowledgeable about something to handle that thing.
Okay.
So when you allow people that are not fit to be in a particular position, that is when there is going to be problem. You see, people that are announcing to us, they are important people, but it is not their field. When somebody says he sighted the moon or he sighted the moon, I have 2 questions to ask that person to knock the person out. But these people, as eminent as they are, as important they are not technical. They don't understand what we are talking about. So the best is that if they can, because all over the world, the president does not come out to announce that people should start fasting or break fasting. The king does not come out to do the announcements.
Yes.
And the sultan is a king in the north. He is a king. And even if we say he is a leader of the Muslims, despite that, he is not the one to come out and announce.
Anyway, that's a
be
conversation for another day.
It should be a body. It should be a body. So the body will be empowered, but they will be working for the sultan.
Okay.
That's how they should work.
Yes, they'll be working for him.
Thank you very much, Nuruddin Ibrahim,
We are
Executive
not close.
Director, Ifan Center for Research and Human Development in Nigeria, and Abdul Samir Al-Kilani, Chief Imam and Head of Islamic Affairs, Islamic Education and Faith Initiative, Magodo. And we'll be talking about El-Fitri celebration and the lessons of Ramadan. Of course, we dwelt, a lot on the moon sighting because it has caused, some kind of controversy over the years, and of course, yesterday and day before yesterday also. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
And of course, I would say thank you for such insightful conversations. This program will continue again after this break.
Thank you.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.